one of the most significant and meaningful moments in the career of Mexican boxing superstar Saul Canelo Alvarez is fast approaching. The highly decorated champion, who is widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, today is gearing up for a blockbuster showdown with one of the most skilled and respected American boxers of this era, Terence "Bud" Crawford. With the eyes of the boxing world fixed firmly on this matchup, every move, word, and appearance by both fighters is making headlines. However, amidst the heated anticipation and strategic preparations, it was a recent joint interview featuring both Canelo and Crawford that unexpectedly stole the spotlight. Instead of escalating the rivalry with mind games or verbal sparring, the interview revealed an entirely different side of both men, one that surprised even longtime fans and reminded everyone of their humanity outside the ring. The highly anticipated bout between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is set to take place on September 13, 2025, and will be held at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, one of the most iconic venues for major sporting events in the United States. This fight has all the ingredients of a modern-day classic to elite athletes, both with impeccable records and massive fan bases, meeting at the pinnacle of their respective careers. For Canelo, this marks yet another chapter in an already illustrious journey. After defeating William Skull in Saudi Arabia, a fight made possible through his landmark agreement with Saudi official Turkey, Al-Sheikh, Canelo has now shifted his full focus to Crawford. And while most fighters would typically avoid direct interaction with their opponent until fight night, Canelo and Crawford took a surprising detour by appearing together in a public interview. What followed was not just unexpected, it was genuinely heartwarming and deeply personal. The interview in question was conducted by renowned British journalist Piers Morgan, and it was anything but the usual pre-fight promotion. In a rare and disarming moment, Canelo and Crawford sat side by side, not as rivals, but as men sharing stories about life outside the ring. This kind of setup is unusual in the often cutthroat world of boxing, where interviews are typically focused on strategies, predictions, and psychological warfare. But in this case, the dynamic was different. Rather than emphasize their differences or reignite their war of words, both fighters took the opportunity to talk about their families, backgrounds, and personal motivations. It was a segment that allowed fans to witness not just the fighters, but the human beings behind the gloves, something that is rarely offered in the run-up to a mega fight. One of the standout moments from the interview came when Piers Morgan asked a question that seemed harmless at first but ended up revealing something that even Canelo didn't expect. "Do you have 4 children, Canelo?" Morgan asked casually. Canelo corrected him gently, replying, "I have 3 children." Then Morgan turned to Crawford, asking, "You have 7 children, don't you, Bud?" With a confident and fatherly smile, Crawford nodded and responded, "That's right, I have 7 children." The revelation clearly caught Canelo off guard. His eyes widened, and without missing a beat, he chuckled and said, "Oh, my God, he hasn't stopped." The moment was spontaneous and lighthearted, breaking the tension that usually defines these types of interviews. It showed a side of Canelo that fans don't often get to see: relaxed, genuine, and clearly amused. Canelo's surprised reaction to Crawford's large family quickly became a viral moment on social media. Clips of the interview circulated widely, with fans reacting to how genuinely shocked and entertained the Mexican champion appeared. While both fighters are known for their toughness and stoic demeanors inside the ring, this playful moment reminded everyone that even elite athletes have ordinary, relatable reactions when it comes to family life. Social media users praised the candidness of the interaction, noting how rare it is to see top-level boxers laughing and bonding over something so personal and down-to-earth. In an industry often built on rivalries and animosity, the interaction felt like a breath of fresh air, reminder that respect, humor, and shared values can coexist with fierce competition. What resonated most with viewers wasn't just the banner, but the connection it revealed between the two fighters. In a sport where opponents are often encouraged to view each other as enemies, Canelo and Crawford momentarily stepped away from their professional personas and simply engaged as two fathers talking about family. That subtle shift in energy, from rivalry to respect, helped humanize both athletes in a profound way. It offered fans a rare glimpse behind the curtain and showed that beyond their public personas, they are men who carry the same joys, challenges, and responsibilities as anyone else. Though the countdown to their September clash continues, and the stakes remain incredibly high, this interview carved out a small but unforgettable moment that reminded everyone that in boxing, just like in life, it's often the personal, unscripted interactions that leave the strongest impact. The joint interview also served as an unspoken message to the boxing world, to fighters who are about to face each other In what could be a career-defining bout, we're still capable of showing mutual respect, even admiration, in a public setting. That level of composure and maturity speaks volumes about both Canelo and Crawford, not just as fighters but as professionals. While tension usually dominates the narrative leading up to a big fight, this exchange highlighted that intensity doesn't always have to come with animosity. In fact, the ability to share a laugh, even with your future opponent, reflects a level of self-assurance that only true champions possess. Their calm demeanor didn't take away from the seriousness of the matchup, it only added a layer of emotional depth that fans could connect with. This moment also further amplified the growing narrative that Terence Crawford is not just one of the most technically gifted fighters in the world, but also someone who commands attention outside the ring for who he is as a person. His openness about his personal life, especially raising 7 children, resonated deeply with fans. It presented him not just as a competitor chasing greatness, but as a grounded family man juggling the demands of elite-level boxing with the everyday responsibilities of fatherhood. That duality is rare in sports, and it's what makes Crawford so compelling. His ability to remain disciplined, focused, and driven while maintaining a strong presence in his children's lives adds an entirely new layer to his legacy, one that people respect beyond the sport. For Canelo, the interview was equally important, though in a different way. The Mexican superstar has long been seen as a fierce competitor, intense, disciplined, and often reserved in public appearances. But his genuine reaction to Crawford's family size and his willingness to let his guard down during the interview made him more relatable. It reminded fans that behind the chiseled fighter and global icon is a man who's still surprised, amused, and humbled by the lives others lead. That moment of awe and laughter revealed a softer side of Canelo, one that doesn't always get highlighted when the cameras focus solely on his training or press conference soundbites. In many ways, it humanized him in the same way Crawford's honesty did. The fact that such a simple exchange sparked widespread discussion online speaks to how hungry fans are for real, unscripted moments in sports. In an age where promotional build-up is often manufactured and rivalries can feel exaggerated for the sake of hype, this quiet, sincere moment stood out. It wasn't scripted, rehearsed, or fueled by a need to sell more tickets. It was a spontaneous glimpse into who these men are beyond their boxing personas. Fans aren't just responding to the fight itself, they're responding to the people behind it. And that emotional connection will only heighten interest in the match come September. It has added layers of context, making the bout not just a contest of skill, but a meeting of two distinct lives, shaped by experience, family, and purpose. As the fight draws nearer, moments like these will linger in the minds of fans. They provide contrast to the inevitable intensity of the build-up and remind everyone what's truly at stake. For Crawford, it's not just about making history or cementing his legacy as one of the greatest ever, it's about doing it for the family that motivates him every day. For Canelo, it's about protecting the legacy he's already built and proving once again why he's remained at the top of the sport for so long. Their mutual respect, however brief and lighthearted, set the tone for what could become one of the most respectful, yet fiercely contested bouts in recent memory. And whether you're tuning in for the punches or the people, it's clear this fight now has even more heart behind the hype.